Okay, great. Are we ready? Excellent. Well, thank you everybody who came out for this. Thank you for everybody watching online. Thank you to the entire ETHDenver team and all the volunteers here this weekend. It's really wonderful to be here. My name is Karen Scarbrough. I am the Executive Director of the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, and today I am here to talk to you about our next moves and how we would like to help accelerate industry adoption here. And it's actually far from my first ETHDenver. I came out here in 2018 as a hacker. Far less people and less projects to talk about. It's really amazing to see what the city of Denver has done with this event, what the event team has done, what all the projects have done that have come out of this event. And that's definitely a model and a scale that the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance would like to model in terms of impact in the upcoming years of the aggregation of community and impact that you can have in the Ethereum ecosystem. So with that, let me take you through a little bit of what the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance is and our history and where we've been the last couple of years. So we started back in 2017 with a couple of core companies that helped us in our founding establishment. We had names like Microsoft, Consensus, Accenture, and many others. BP, a former employee of mine, Microsoft, my also current employer. And with that, we actually had hundreds of members at the time, all joining around the ambition to integrate blockchain technology into enterprise and see where the technology could take the use cases that we had within enterprise to the next level. And much like many areas of technology in the economy in general, we have seen the interest wane and wax with different cycles that we've gone through. So certainly in 2018, post-ICO boom, and then seeing the ramp up in DeFi and stablecoins, we again saw industry take tremendous interest in the use cases and the new things coming out of the Ethereum ecosystem. And at that time, the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, in addition to the standards groups that we have and the webinars that we put on and the event presence that we did have, we really started talking a lot more about startup Web3 ecosystem as opposed to private blockchains and the differences therein. I recall at the time, Vitalik had a wonderful article that came out around the legitimacy of the public Ethereum ecosystem that I used prolifically within enterprise because it had really reached an exciting level of adoption and technical achievements that you could point to as real stepping stones in an iteration journey towards scale and plans for the ecosystem and Ethereum next. So another important step on our journey at the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance has also been the Business Readiness Report. And the initial Business Readiness Report came out in 2022, or 2022, excuse me. And at this time, we had around 180 use cases across different enterprises. This 100-page plus report encompasses interviews, different charts and graphs of relevant data within the ecosystem. And happy to report that we published the 2023 Enterprise Ethereum Alliance Business Readiness Report with an additional 260 use cases this year. And another 100 pages plus of in-depth data and analysis and interviews of what's been going on in the Ethereum ecosystem. And it's an exciting time because again, we're starting to see from the hype cycle that happened last time, the legitimacy of the improvements around scalability, privacy, and other aspects of the Ethereum ecosystem that are again starting to track up interest within the enterprise community. So when you think about what's top of mind for enterprise and the lens through which they may view this ecosystem, a couple of different frameworks can come to mind, and one is overall general innovation for an enterprise ecosystem. And so when you talk about blockchain or Ethereum or zero-knowledge proofs or anything within that context, sometimes it can get put in a category against other big-name technologies. So You've got interest here in quantum from the enterprise environments. AI has certainly taken a lot of precedence this year, things like robotics, but all of these technologies that enterprise can tend to look at through a lens of let's do a proof of concept. How is this going to differentiate our business model in the future? And that's where, with blockchain, similar to all these other different ecosystems, having the narrative around the readiness of this technology and the actual data to support it being at the proper readiness level is really important. So you can see, for example, I'll point out the statistic around AI being that 25% of C-suite executives are using this in their day-to-day working activities is a pretty strong indicator of the alignment and investment that will go into an enterprise actually adopting this and pushing it forward, certainly. So, what are we going to share as a blockchain Ethereum ecosystem to build the right conversation around why enterprise would be interested in this? And that really brings us to putting it in the proper lens of any enterprise IT environment, because at the end of the day, all those different categories of innovation are very exciting, but they're often not the core business of what an enterprise company does. So keeping the lights on, ensuring scale for your customers, proper user experience, and all those related bits are also very important. And this is where you get positioned against other technologies in terms of security, scalability, cost, privacy, regulation, all those different bits. So with that, and considering the lenses through which the Ethereum ecosystem can be more successful in enterprise, what we'd like to move forward with at the EEA is a mission to be the credible voice of reason that commercial entities can rely on for a clear understanding of the Ethereum ecosystem. And to do that, we want to create an environment to do business in Ethereum by bringing together enterprise leaders, startups, builders, and innovators. And this will be the journey that we start to take over the next year, and one that we've really been in for several years now, but amplifying the contact with the Ethereum community and the edge of innovation, yet the requirements of enterprise is something that is top of mind for us, and we really want to see transform in the future over the next year. So to give you an example of how we want to help clarify narratives and discuss the Ethereum ecosystem in context with industry, one of those data points that you can look at is the Ethereum daily transaction rate. And you can see in the DeFi up-ramp of 2020, 2021, we start hitting significantly higher transactions per day, and then we plateau. So if you have not taken the information in context, it can look like, well, where did Ethereum scaling go? We said in 2020 that we wanted to scale DeFi. We wanted to make it so that more users can use Ethereum. And the discussion around L2s, although very prominent here, may not be in other realms of people who are interested in this technology on a basis for using it within an enterprise that may not be living and breathing this day in and day out how we may all be here. And that's where we would like to more so showcase that against the daily transaction rate, how you need to consider that in context is the layer 2 ecosystems, which the Ethereum ecosystem hypothesized would help us scale in 2020, 2021, have actually achieved what they set out to do, and that now those layer 2 ecosystems are scaling Ethereum by a factor of 8.5. Last time I checked a couple of days ago. So it's an excellent presentation of how the builders in Ethereum had an idea about how they needed to solve an engineering problem, and they actually executed it, and it is displaying positive results so far. The other things that we'd like to bring to light as far as the advantages of the ecosystem and where to consider it in terms of sustainability and comparison in the wider blockchain ecosystem, also include things like client diversity. So this is something that, to my knowledge at least, although as this space grows, it seems to only grow more limited because there's so much out there. The Ethereum ecosystem is really unique in the approach to client diversity. And for those online or out in the audience who may not be familiar, this is that the Ethereum nodes that run the network exist in several different languages. And the purpose for that is that if the client in C goes down, then the client written in another language can pick up the ecosystem and carry it forward so we don't have downtime. So it's important that among all these different clients that run different types of languages with their nodes, that we have a balance between them and that the Ethereum ecosystem is supported. So you can see on one side with our consensus clients, we're doing very well. On the execution clients here, I know there's some red marks, but it was only just yesterday that Coinbase has also announced that they are going to start running a diversity of their staking clients as well, which is excellent. And then, the layer beyond that is that this Besu client on the chart here too is one in which you can run a private Ethereum network. And you can also point that to a public network of your choosing. So how wonderful of an on-ramp for an enterprise to potentially work with a client that can do both for them in the future. So that's another amazing way to introduce enterprise to some content that is unique to the Ethereum ecosystem and actually has a real amount of strength behind it as well when you consider all the options that you could do. And then another key data point that is top of mind for enterprise, particularly with all of the news headlines of 2022 that we all saw and just cringed a little bit. But the addressing of not only the OFAC sanctions, but things of the nature of scams and regulations and all that needs to be considered for an enterprise ecosystem to address. We hear the negative side and headlines a lot, but if you look under the hood, the block builders for the Ethereum ecosystem right now, actually most of them run a type of protocol that does not allow non-OFAC compliant transactions effectively. And there's a whole layered discussion here that I want to be very clear on. There's no favoritism for censorship here when it comes to enterprise, but the fact that you can prove that you can be compliant is actually a real benefit to the ecosystem because that needs to be demonstrated not only to regulators, but businesses who want to come into the environment as well and not put their core company at risk in trying this new technology. So that's another interesting data point. And then of interest to enterprise as well is where am I going to find the resources, the talent, the builders to be here with me and build and sustain a product that I do build. And for that number as well, we've seen positive trends over the last year in which the software development kit installs have increased 31% year on year. And if you also look into other key areas of technology, which are including zero knowledge these days, the ecosystem for that, if you looked at it 4 or 5 years ago, the accessibility to an average developer was far different in that you had to be much more of a PhD level cryptographer to access building a zero knowledge proof to fit in your smart contract to execute on an EVM chain. Now there's 4, 5, 6, probably more different languages that a strong developer who doesn't know ZK could come in and make a smart contract that can work in those ecosystems. So it's a great demonstration on how not only are more developers getting active in this space, but we are also building better tools for which developers can get active in this space. So when it comes to really articulating our next moves, besides just demonstrating some of that data to a wider ecosystem within the industry and to other enterprises that are considering multiple different options, more succinctly, we want to provide that industry data through items like our business readiness report, but also transition that into data that's consistent throughout the year. We usually launch the business readiness report once a year with that large 100-page report. We want to provide data more consistently for our enterprises. And those in enterprise may be familiar with names like Gartner, who have a high degree of credibility within enterprise ecosystems for the data surrounding innovation. We would like to be the Gartner of blockchain innovation for enterprise companies. And then what we're doing here as well, the presence at events. So making sure we come alongside those in the Ethereum community and also build a presence for our members in events specifically for enterprise. So this year, we do anticipate to have a lot more in-person events, be present in more places, and then also facilitate more webinars, both informational and informal, so that we can continue to provide both passive and active ways for our members to participate in the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. And in addition to that, we want to continue to provide viewpoints. So we do have standards groups and interest groups that have worked over the course of the lifetime of the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. We actually, several years ago, even had an interest group around AI and blockchain, which actually stopped participation due to lack of interest, and I think we've got the interest back now. It's certainly one that we would like to revive. But not only that, we've got the DeFi risk management accounting paper that has just come out as well from one of our standards groups. We've got our ETH Trust that articulates ways to build a decentralized application in a secure way from start to finish. We've got our Ethereum training quality groups picking out the strongest courses for enterprise individuals to go out and utilize. So we really value the members that lead those, so thank you to them while I'm up here as well, and we want to see a lot more this year. And lastly, community. I articulated that we want to do this through events, but also making sure that you, an enterprise, as someone who is interested in blockchain and Ethereum for their business, that you have a community of like-minded people to pull ideas from, to learn from, and help accelerate the adoption within industry in general. So some recent highlights, like I said, were the Ethereum Business Readiness Report. And while I'm up here, a big thank you to the Ethereum Foundation for that. They helped us put that or helped us have the resources to do that. And it's been a tremendous benefit for the enterprise community. And the working group activity that I referenced, the ETH Trust group that we have just released their security level spec, and I believe version 3 is actually coming pretty soon as well. That one was released in December. And our DeFi group, DeFi risk management, or accounting management, yeah, that acronym always trips me up a little, but DRAMA for Enterprise Ethereum Alliance means DeFi. And we have also released the DeFi risk guidelines paper for comment. So I can share the link online and share this presentation. But those comments are open till April 15th, and we'd love to get more enterprise input on how those were articulated. So with that, I just want to say thank you to everybody for coming out. If you are interested in EEA membership, I've given you the path here. And definitely check out our business readiness report as well. So thanks, everyone.
before you go, you still